Welcome back to another video. We're going to get straight into this. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that really helps the channel grow. I really hope you can support me with the potential sponsorship video that's coming along. I'll have more on my community section when that actually gets finalized with a premiere for the video, which I hope all of you will turn up. I know we have about 5,000 subs right now, but even if we can get 5,000 views on that video within the first few hours, that would be absolutely amazing. It really would support me in such a big way. It would be mind blowing. So I really do hope that you all can turn up to that. But now on to the actual video. Don't forget, like, subscribe, 500 likes. Let's do it. Naughty Dog's account has been nothing but sad news recently. What happened to this studio? Our head of technology, Christian Geerling, has decided to leave Naughty Dog after an amazing 17-year career at our studio. We're grateful for his many contributions to the studio, our games, and his teammates. We will miss Christian greatly and we wish him best of luck on where his path leads next. Travis McIntosh, a 19-year veteran, not year old, at Naughty Dog, will succeed Christian as head of technology. But that's another one that bites the dust when it comes to Sony. Lots of people have been either jumping ship. We know from Firespite that Sony went in there and has absolutely dismantled that studio to the point where people are just, the whole spirit within that studio is gone. No one is happy. Sony has systematically just destroyed them. This is coming from their words, not ours, if you look at Glassdoor. So it's pretty shocking. With all the layoffs that's been happening and now just the bad news that continuously comes out of Naughty Dog, we had the lead developer of Factions 2 come out and say, hey, I'm still working on that game, but decided that he won't say what the game is. So it's highly likely that it's not Factions 2. And when called upon that tweet, he's going to turn around and say, well, I didn't say Factions 2, did I? I just said that game. I mean, if he was working on Factions 2, then he would have said, I'm still working on Factions 2. But the reality is, until they do come out and say, we are still in active development of Factions 2, and not just a random, we are working on a multiplayer game, then no one's going to believe it. The fact is, Factions 2 was officially announced. It's not like it's a secret game or a hidden game or a leaked game. It was officially announced. So for the developers now not being able to even mention a name is a bit weird. So I think there's some, sorcery happening there with words and trying to kind of fool the players into an illusion. I really do hope Factions 2 is a thing because I enjoyed the first one personally, but based on how they are going so cryptic about it, I think it's something else and not Factions 2, which is disappointing because I do like The Last of Us world. All right, so this one is really cringe. I'm going to have a link to this in the description below because I'm really scared. Like literally anything that I've played recently, whether it's been on live or on a video, has been copyrighted to hell. It's really weird. They're really chasing after me. All right, I'm just going to inject this in because I've been seeing a lot of people actually including this clip. And I know I said I was going to put it in the description below. I am actually still going to do it. It was in the previous one and in this one. I'm sorry this is going to give you, eardrum diarrhea. But if I had to suffer through this, you're going to suffer through this because this just doesn't work. It doesn't. It just doesn't work. I am adding this in post-production of the actual video, so it may seem a little disjointed, but man, this is just bad. Right, so here we go.
Justice, we're breaking the law, breaking the world together, throwing out all tenderness, we're breaking the rules. No cause, no choice, no going back to how it was. No slowing down because we'll keep our heads high. Our fists raised till we die. We're living by our own judgment. Justice, we're breaking.
Okay. I'm not gonna play that for you again. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. It's really, 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 really bad. The auto tuning, everything in this is just really bad. And I feel sorry for the guy because this is the role he's dreamed of for all his life. And unfortunately, he screwed it up. And, you know, I think some of the criticism that's coming his way is deserved. I think he knows himself. He could have done better, considering he is the one that laughed at Chris Pratt for Mario. He then goes and does this and doesn't think people are going to remember that. I think Chris Pratt actually did a really good job as Mario. You know, it wasn't a squeaky Mario, but I think it actually worked. I actually really enjoyed it, and I didn't feel like I was being pulled away from the experience. But this feels like it was literally phoned in. And if you see some of the other clips that people are, you know, highlighting over the internet, it really feels like it was phoned in. It's so disconnected. It's almost like he's not even talking in that scene. When you've got the Japanese voiceover, it feels like the person there is there in the moment. Whereas this one is just reading from a script. I don't know, it's bad. Like I said, this part was interjected because I decided to add this bit into it because I've seen so many other people and they're not getting demonetized. So I'm really hoping that I don't get demonetized. It's a risk, I know, but I'm going for it. Don't forget, one way that you can support me if I am getting demonetized is through my Patreon or YouTube membership or super thanks. Thanks so much. Right, I'm going to just connect this into the video. On with the show. So I'm going to leave a description to this in the description below. And all I have to say is that I genuinely agree with what people say. And I've seen some of his stuff in other games where other just stuff he's done, where he's been able to change his voice and actually play the role. This one was a miscast. It just doesn't work. It sounds like he phoned it in. It's pretty awful. And hopefully he'll learn from it. But the fact that he's going around and banning everyone that says something critical about it, and if he sees this, I'm banned already before I even get a chance to even give a reason. But, well, by banned, I mean blocked on Twitter. He's going about this the wrong way. It's a miscast. It was a bad presentation from him. But the way he's actually going about it on Twitter and turning around and just blocking everyone that says something, even if it's constructive, if it's negatively constructive, then, you know, if it's a negative point followed by constructive feedback, he will still block you. It's weird. It's childish, and he needs to grow up. But at the same time, you know, it's a massive hit for him, massive hit for his ego, massive hit to his reputation, because companies will look at this and say, look, the last time someone big employed you to do a role, this is what happened. We're not quite sure we want to gamble on you. And this could really affect his career going forward. But hopefully there'll be other opportunities where he can redeem himself. But blocking people is probably not it. This one is quite big for multiple reasons. The Steam Deck OLED is actually pretty damn sweet. In the US and Canada, they're also getting a limited edition version of this. Now, the Steam Deck OLED is just what it says. It's a Steam Deck with an OLED screen. It's got a slightly bigger screen, longer battery, faster downloads because it's supporting Wi-Fi 6. It's got better I/O ports, and it's just overall just a better console. Now, obviously, it's got a bigger battery pack in there. It's got a bigger fan in there, so the cooling is better in there. It's the actual chip socket in there is actually slightly smaller, which means it generates less heat. Generating less heat means it can push those few frames more. And from what I've read and heard, it can actually give you up to 10% more performance, which originally without the performance, I was, this may not be worth the upgrade. But apparently with the performance, it might actually be worth it. Now, the problem is people have bought a Steam Deck just 2 months ago, and Steam decided that they'd leave it to 7 days before release before they announced that they're going to release the Steam Deck OLED. So they kind of misled people, and this isn't, you know, the usual Valve way. They're usually very pro-consumer. They actually care for the consumer. They're actually really good with that sort of thing. So why they decided to do this time is a little weird. Now, they haven't offered any form of trade-in for the old consoles to pick up an OLED. Maybe they'll do that after the initial batches of OLEDs have gone out for the other consumers. But at the moment, there's a lot of people unhappy that, you know, over the last 2 months, they've picked up a Steam Deck. They've been really happy, only for it to be made redundant or outdated 2 months later. Valve should have made this information known, or at least spoke about that it's coming this year. Most consoles do that. Most platforms do that. All the companies out there that are releasing an upgraded version will do that. Even Nintendo, when they were talking about their OLED Switch, made an announcement, I think it was like 3-4 months prior to its release. And this is Nintendo, probably the most anti-consumer company out there. But for Valve, who are one of the most pro-consumer companies out there, to do something like this just isn't good. It's not right for their self-image, and I think Gabe will probably want to rectify that. But, you know, if they offer an upgrade service, I will definitely send mine in and pick this one up. I'll pay the extra £100 or £150. I think that's what it should be, and that would be fine. But if they push it any more than that, then I think it's just not worth the upgrade. But the Steam Deck OLED is actually well worth its money in weight. Now, this one over here is a little weird for me. It's not really news, but it's coming from Unleashed. And now this dude doesn't really have a PlayStation 5. He's one of those people that want to be in with the hit crowd. But, you know that kid that you always see that has nothing in common with what's going on, but they just want to be in with the hit crowd, but they've got like nothing in common. That's this guy. This guy is the one where he just sits there going, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" But, you know, he doesn't have a PlayStation 5. From what I've heard, he doesn't even have a PlayStation 4. But yet he's sitting here glorifyingly trashing Game Pass. And now my question to him was, where do we see it? Do you even play the games Do you play the games you get via Essentials, Extras, Premium? A genuine question. He didn't actually respond to me, right? He didn't, because he's not going to respond to me. Because the moment he responds to me by saying, yes, I play games on Extras, Essentials, or Premium, and this applies to any PlayStation fanboy out there, right? It's the same as Game Pass. There's no difference. You're getting free games as part of your subscription, right? And the moment you stop paying for those subscriptions, you stop getting access to those games. How is that any different to Game Pass outside of you getting day and date first party games, which, you know, the publisher themselves, Microsoft, are offering you as a perk for being a subscription member. If you like the games on Game Pass, just like you do on PlayStation with their Essentials, Premium, and Extras, you can go buy them. You always have that option. So what's the difference here? I don't see it. I really don't see the difference. It's weird. It's totally weird. And I think they just are running out of things to talk about. I mean, the dude talks about PlayStation as the master race and doesn't even own one. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can support me further through my Patreon, YouTube membership, or hit that super thanks if you enjoyed this video, especially me taking a little poke at Unleashed for actually trying to be in with that PlayStation hit crowd without even owning a PlayStation. I mean, that's weird, right? Am I the only one that thinks that's weird? Anyway, until next time, stay safe and remain legend.